Today, this little podcast is a really heartfelt one because I was a teenage bedwetter. And it was worse than that. Because I can tell you, I remember my first day of school, kind of. And a couple years of hell that followed that. Until one day I decided to make a radical change. We're going to talk about the attitude of Abdullah today. Because if you don't have the attitude of Abdullah, the techniques really don't matter. Again, that's just my opinion. But I can tell you, when you have the attitude and when you have the right actions to take, you can't help but totally transform your life. So enjoy today's podcast episode. If you got gold, I'd really love to know. Feel free to drop me an email at 2020@exhostage.com. That's 2020 at exhostage.com. exhostage.com. And if you like this, I'll share more. Have a great day. See ya. I don't remember the first day of school, but I remember walking through the doors. The big nun holding my little hand. Looking back at my mom through the windows, I could see she looked sad. I felt terrified. That would have been grade 1. I don't know, 6, 7 years old. 5 years later, I'm still pissing the bed. I had a realization that, more than once on the way home from school, I'd take the bus, the kids would pick on me, and I'd piss my pants. No kidding. It got to the point where I expected to wake up in a puddle of piss. When you're 12 years old wearing a diaper, right, something ain't right. And it wasn't until somebody had enough belief in me to go, right, we're going to do something different. So I was staying over at a friend's house for a couple weeks. And the mother decided to get me up in the middle of the night, every night, and make me take a pee. And would have a little chat. It was our special time. I'd go back to bed. It got to the point where I expected to wake up without having pissed myself. See, it's a long time from going from the first day of school and feeling what I felt then, looking at my mom sadly through the windows. It's a long time spending 5 years pissing yourself routinely, getting picked on the bus. It got to the point where I just started walking to school. Right about the same time I stopped pissing the bed was the same time I started walking to school. I wanted nothing to do with it. I had a massive change when I was 12 years old. And sometimes you just have to decide it's time for a massive change. Because a less than massive change isn't all that fun. It's called transformation. It's not called improvement. I'm not a massive fan of teaching people how to improve their lives. I'm a massive fan of, right, let's reinvent you. Neville Goddard says you can move in the twinkle of an eye. I agree. I find my little thing about 90-day experiments, 30, 60, 90-day experiments to be life-changing. But it didn't even take 30 days for me to start to expect to wake up without having pissed the bed. I can't tell you what it's like, the thrill of not having to wear plastic pants to bed when you're 12. I can tell you what it's like to simply be proud of yourself. I went on from all that to become a teenage black belt in Kempo karate. They didn't hand out black belts to people where I went. I mean, you worked for them. That started, I believe, the same year. I was 12 or 13. I got my first degree black belt when I was 18. Won a lot of trophies along the way. Went from being that teenage bedwetter to being in the shape of a professional athlete. I could do 300 sit-ups without a problem, hold my legs out in that 6 inches position that stresses your abs for like 10 minutes straight. One of the things that you get to do is you get to develop the attitude of Abdullah. Ab just didn't slam the door. Ab lived life. A lot of people don't think this through. They make a big deal about Ab knowing Neville was coming, Ab slamming the door when Neville was excited about going third class. They really don't realize Ab went to the opera. Ab lived where he lived. Ab did what he did. He was a black man. Back when being a black man wasn't cool. Going to the opera, sitting in the first class seats, front row, center. That kind of thing. You see, I can't help you. The programs can't help you unless you develop some attitude. Part of the reason why we feel it real is to develop attitude. You see, there's two sides to this. One, there's the techniques and tools that we teach, which all are about the truth about you that sets you free. You'll notice we don't use crutches. We don't use training wheels. We have you instantly start exploring who would you be? What would you experience? How can we play here? We have you owning your day with stuff like the Joseph Goddard method. If you don't own your dawn, the dawn of your day, if you don't own that, you don't own your day. If you don't own your day, you don't own your destiny. Yet there's attitude there and there's protocol. Meanwhile, I used to be a teenage bedwetter, 12 years old. I'm saying 12. Could have been heading into 13. Could have been 13. I really don't remember. But I can tell you it was definitely when I was 12. All that was going on. I remember those years. And here's the cool thing. I can remember them with nostalgia. Looking back at that little boy, what he went through, how he decided to grow up, get different. How he manifested someone in his life to help him for like 21 days, get up in the middle of the night, give him some encouragement. Help him to expect something different. And there's a biggie right there. That's where I want to close up this podcast from. What are you honestly expecting? Abdullah, he expected to have the adventure of a lifetime. He got who he was and how this worked. Neville ordered clams. If you know that story, you know what I'm talking about. Neville ordered clams. This isn't charity. You get to dive deeper into who you are and how this works, not so that you can improve your life, but so you can transform who you've been into who you choose to be. In my world, magic is very real because you're the magic. In my world, alchemy is very real because we turn base metals into gold. The base, what I was, the facts were, teenage bedwetter. Probably never going to kiss a girl, afraid that Armageddon was coming. God, the shit that was in my head. Time to let your light shine. Imagine who you would bless. Imagine who you could bless. If you got gold today, this is going to be the second one in a row. We're going to suggest manifestingmasterycourse.com. It's that 90-day adventure, $97. If you've already done that, we've also dropped some other hints on some of our more recent explorations. But manifestingmasterycourse.com, that's the backbone of all we do. Think of it like learning letters. You got to learn 26 letters so that you can utilize tens of thousands of words. 26 letters. All the words come from 26 letters in English. But if you don't know the letters, if you don't know basic words, then writing and speaking really isn't all that much fun or useful. It's hard. Get the basics down. 26 letters, 90-day program. 90-day experiment. Time to activate the attitude. Have a lovely day. My name is Mr. 2020, and you've been listening to the Neville Goddard Podcast. See ya.